Hey, good morning. So, welcome. A brisk Saturday morning here. I hope you are enjoying yourselves. This is the first volume one of Un Gros Sac de Petits Reproches. Yes, my petty grievances. So, just a quick reminder of what we do in these videos. This is Doc Dave's Got Feelings. Yes, I am Doc Dave. This is a new psychology education experience. It is just the kind of irreverent palate cleanser that you never knew you needed. And, as I said, today we are going to go into a variety, a plethora, a smorgasbord, so to speak, of petty grievances, things that for me really irritate the fuck out of me. So, without further ado, let me just briefly go through the highlights of what we are going to cover in today's video. So, first and foremost, the dreaded sovereign citizens and their traveling pants. Then we're going to move on to something that is annoying me and has been annoying me. The WWE, their so-called streaming channel, Peacock, the streaming service. The two have met. Apparently the two will depart, or at least one will depart from the other at the end of its terms of service, at the end of 2025. And anyway, it's annoying. We're going to talk about that. Before I get to credit, we're going to also talk about another streaming bundle that I pay for that is annoying the hell out of me, and that is the Disney Plus Hulu bundle. Is it a scam? Is it a bargain? What is it? I hate it. And if you've been wandering around the streets of my town, you might have seen me walking around with my wooden practice katana, my Bakken. And this will explain why. Has something to do with traffic. But for 30 years now, over 30 years, I have been vexed by credit. And the areciprocal nature of credit between Canada and the U.S. Me, Canadian citizen, U.S. citizen, I have credit and bank accounts in Canada. I have credits and bank accounts in the U.S. I have credit cards that are Canadian. I have credit cards that are U.S. And you will be surprised, or maybe not surprised, at how the different countries respond to the other countries' credit cards. So, with that in mind, let us move on to the video. Hey, so let's get this started. So the first topic that's really irritating me in the gros sac de petits reproches, my petty grievances. Sovereign citizens, and I can't do this without my buddies here, my emotional support plushies. Here we have, yes, Kylo Ren suffers from the same anger management problems as I do, and you might remember him, Anakin Skywalker, yes, and he too suffers from several anger management issues, among others, dark side, same as his grandson, Kylo. So, they help me a lot. So, these sovereign citizens, they claim to be blah, 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 blah. And again, I really don't give a flying fuck, because ultimately, it's all after the fact. One thing just off the top. I've seen a lot of these YouTube videos where they're in court because, they get caught by cops. They've got multiple traffic violations, And they go and they say, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't recognize that. And I'll tell you, these judges and prosecutors that have to sit across from these idiots, in nome di Padre, et Sancti, et Spiritus Sancti, all the patience in the world to them. I saw this one video, hour and 25 minutes long. It should have been a 15-minute case. You know, summons, clearly in violation, bang, but no. The idiot stretched it out, still lost, multiple financial penalties for being in contempt of court. But anyway, I digress. Ultimately, personal opinion, humble opinion, personal opinion, what this comes down to is that these are just cheap bastards. Cheap assholes who do not want to pay for car registration, want to pay for insurance, want to, and it doesn't matter what thing. It's basically any civil law that requires them to have to pay for a license, to have to pay for anything. They don't want to have to do it. Why? Because you're cheap pricks. That's it. Ultimately, the crux and heart of the sovereign citizen movement is, I'm a cheap prick and I don't want to have to pay for any of this stuff. And the ultimate insult is this idea that I do not have to pay for driver's licenses or insurance or registration or any of that crap because I don't drive. No, all I'm doing is traveling. Driving is only something that happens for commercial use. To which I call bullshit. And to which I say, get the fuck over yourself. You may not agree with the law. You may not like the law. But that doesn't mean you get to violate the law. That doesn't mean you get to put the life of myself and my children at risk because you do not have a vehicle that's properly licensed and insured and safe for the road, and because you are not properly licensed and insured and safe for the road. And God forbid you get in an accident with me and my children. This is not going to end up well, is it? So, all you sovereign citizens out there, get over yourselves. Oh, I had to stop on the way home from my morning jaunt this morning. And I was thinking about all these issues just rattling around in my head. And I'm thinking, let's say one of you sovereign citizens decide to go on a world tour. And you're taking your RV, your Winnebago, your Ford F-150, and you're just blasting your Lee Greenwood, and you're coming up to that Israeli checkpoint in the Gaza Strip, and the Israeli soldier comes up to you, and he asks for your papers, because one of the interesting things about these stupid idiots is that they don't believe these laws apply to them anywhere on the fucking planet. They actually have their own sovereign citizen international photo ID driver's licenses that say they are sovereign citizens of the world. Dare I say, international sovereign citizens of the galaxy. If they ever got, international intergalactic travel going. But anyway, they pull up to the checkpoint. They're asked for paperwork. And they say, I am an American. I'm American. And I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't recognize your authority over me. And I sure as hell hope that what I think would happen when you're at a Gaza checkpoint and you say to an Israeli soldier, you do not have any authority over me, what I think would happen, what a reasonable person would think would happen to them, is probably going to happen to them. I really hope that doesn't happen to them. But just because you do not agree with a law does not mean you're not subject to that law, does not mean you're not bound to that law. We have a process in this country where you are part of the process that gets to decide who creates those laws. You get to vote on who your member of Congress is. You get to vote on it. And people tend to vote in state and federal elections. They tend to vote most in federal, and then it goes blah, 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 blah. The least amount of voter participation is in, ironically, local elections, which in many ways are the most important ones, because that's the ones where these sovereign citizens are bitching about. Local ordinances and that kind of stuff. So if you don't like what's going on, get involved. Don't be a dick. Don't be a sovereign citizen. Get involved. That's just my take on it. Okay, on to the next one. Hello, my friends. So, on to the next topic. Okay, so recently Disney Plus offered a series of different bundles. It's my understanding that there are different bundles depending upon where you are, what your cable service is. So, where I am, we have two bundles. One is the Disney Plus Hulu bundle, and then there is also a Disney Plus Hulu ESPN bundle. There are two different tiers. There's the one with the ads where you pay less, and then there's a non-ad where you pay something like 300 million%, not that much, but you literally pay over 2.5 times more to have less ads, to have no ads. So I had a separate Disney Plus membership and Hulu membership, so I was intrigued. I thought, what the hell? Why not? I can save money. I get the bundle. I get the Hulu. I get the Disney Plus. Win-win for the Dave. Yeah, not so much, I'm afraid. So, I get the bundle, and first thing I notice is that no longer can I use my standalone Hulu app, to which I'm thinking, what the hell? Why can't I use the Hulu app anymore, since I'm figuring, I'm Hulu. I'm paying for Hulu. Admittedly, now part of the Disney Plus Hulu bundle, but I'm paying for Hulu. Why can't I use Hulu? But now I find out I can only access Hulu as a tab through the Disney Plus app. So I think, okay, fine, I'll accept that. It looks beautiful. I've got blah, I've got blah, I've got blah. I've got the two things that I use most, Marvel, Star Wars. I also do the National Geographic because there's a lot of stuff there, I kind of like. And it's got the whatever Fox used to be, because there's a lot of shows, FX shows, that I like, grown-up content for Dave. So I go to Hulu, and I noticed that literally a good 50 to 60% of the shows that I would watch on Hulu, the standalone app that I used to have a subscription for, I can't, it's not available at all. You can't search any of those tabs on the Disney Plus app individually. The only search option on the Disney Plus app is one overall mega search for everything. So you type in something and it searches all of them. I type in the shows that I'm interested in watching that I used to watch on Hulu, and no, they are not available through the Disney Plus app. So, even though this is supposedly a Disney Plus Hulu bundle, it is giving me a whole bunch of crap on Hulu that I'm not interested in watching, that I didn't watch at all. And it's not letting me have access to the stuff I used to watch on Hulu, all of which I find particularly annoying. So, even though I'm paying for a Disney Plus Hulu bundle, I can't watch any of the stuff I used to watch on Hulu. And if I want to continue to watch the stuff I used to watch on Hulu, I now have to re-up and buy again a separate Hulu subscription. Which begs the question, why the hell do I have to have a Disney Plus Hulu bundle plus a separate Hulu subscription just to watch stuff I should be able to watch through the Disney Plus Hulu bundle? Anyway, assuming that I'm understanding the concept of what a bundle should be, which in my humble definition is you've got A, you've got B, I put them together, I've got a bundle, both A and B exist individually, you put them together, you get both of them together. I don't get half of Kylo and a third of Anakin if I put them together in a bundle. I get all of Kylo and all of Anakin together in one. That's what I wanted. That's what I expected. That sure as fuck is not what I got. So, I'm upset with you, Disney Plus. But, like always, you've still got me because you got Marvel and Star Wars. On to the next one. Hey, here we go. Okay, number 3, another bundle, another thing that I'm kind of like paying for, although not really, to be perfectly honest. And I do get a plus out of this, which I'll get to in a minute. But anyway, huge wrestling fan, have always been, and since I lost my dad last year, it's become even more important because wrestling was something, particularly WWF, now WWE, something I shared with my father growing up, and it makes me feel closer to him to get back into it, so I have gotten back into it. WWE has its own network. That network is on Peacock. I don't have cable. I can't afford cable. I don't want to have cable. I'm not interested in cable. Cable is persona non grata within my house. So, I was happy to have WWE channel on Peacock until I found out something rather bizarre. And that thing that was bizarre, Kylo, you're going to want to listen to this. Would you stop sleeping? Can you stop sleeping? This is important, Kylo. Anyway. For those of you not up to speed on such things, there are WWE has broadcast shows. It has Raw on Monday nights. It has NXT on Tuesday nights. It has SmackDown on Friday nights, and soon to be, it's bringing back Saturday night. WWE Saturday night, an oldie and a goodie from when I was a teenager, believe it or not, way back last century. Now, one of the weird things is that WWE channel on Peacock is a month behind. That's right. It is Saturday. Last night was SmackDown. I gotta wait 4 fucking weeks before I find out, other than clips and snippets on YouTube, what the hell happened? Why? Why? Almost every other broadcast channel that has a streaming app option, a show is available the next day. Why for WWE do I gotta wait? You know what makes it even more irritating? And this is the plus. Irritating, but plus. Because I get WWE channel on Peacock, I get all of the PLEs, the premium live events, which are monthly. There's now a PLE, a live event that, usually you would have to pay money for, like WrestleMania. I get all of those for free with my subscription to Peacock. So I have monthly live events, but all of the storylines leading up to the monthly premium live events, I have no freaking idea what's going on because all of the storylines I'm a month behind on. What's the point? And now, people are talking about the fact that at the end of 2025, it looks like WWE is going to move all of its content off of WWE channel on Peacock, probably maybe even end WWE as a channel, and move everything into one place on Netflix. As you may or may not have heard, $5 billion deal. Raw is going to Netflix in January. To which my comment is, there was actually an interesting commentary about this just a couple of days ago by Ango. Ango does some great wrestling commentary. Go see the Ango show on YouTube. And he was talking about it in the context of WWE channel being a place where everything was in one place. I would respectfully disagree, because WWE channel, at least over the last few years, has never been a place where everything is in one place. Because the way I would define everything in one place is that I should be able to watch last week's Raw and SmackDown and NXT, plus I should be able to watch the review shows, you know, the Raw review show, commentary show, SmackDown, Lowdown, and the PLE, Bad Blood. I should be able to watch all of that last week's content, up to date, on WWE channel. But you know what? I can't. I can only get the broadcast channel, the broadcast shows, a month behind. I can get live and in real time all of the PLEs. Great. I can't even get, you know, the weekly commentary shows up to date. It's about 6 weeks, if anything. I think the last time I checked, SmackDown Lowdown, like August 30th was the last time they loaded something up on WWE channel. You want to know where I used to watch SmackDown Lowdown? Like the next day, and Raw Talk. I used to watch them on Hulu. Hulu is where I used to watch Raw Talk and SmackDown, the commentary shows, the day after the shows premiered. And now I can't watch them anymore because they don't show those two shows on the Disney Hulu bundle. But they used to show them, and still do, on the standalone Hulu app. So, I don't know what the hell's going to happen if and when any and all WWE content moves over to Netflix. Probably going to be a great idea. It's certainly, I think, looking to what happens in Europe, because it's going to Europe next year, all WWE content. And if they do something similar, licensing-wise, to what they're doing in Europe over here, things are going to be fine. But I would argue that ever since WWE channel went on to Peacock, it has never been a single standalone place for all content in real time. If you want to watch up-to-date WWE content, you had to have Peacock, you had to have cable channels, and you had to go to more than one place to do it. That's not having everything in one place. To have to go and watch back catalog episodes of shit a month behind, that's not a viable option for having to watch stuff all in one place. So my hope is that they do things a little differently. I understand having a broadcast option. I think that's probably a good thing. But it also is my hope that in having a broadcast option, there is also an option to have that content available next day in whatever streaming option is available, either Netflix or something else. And that waiting a month is not a viable option when you have a PLE that's based on that content every month. So that's just my little rant on WWE and Peacock. Hopefully things will get better. Take care. On to the next one. before I go and suplex somebody. Hey, so number 4, can you believe it? We're over the hump. So number 4, this one has been a source of constant consternation since I first moved down to the United States for graduate school way back last century in 1989. So I found out quickly when I went to buy furniture for my apartment that my Canadian Visa card on a Canadian bank with a Visa logo was not accepted. We're talking to Royal Bank of Canada. Had that Visa card, had that bank account since I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. I've also had bank accounts at Toronto Dominion, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. Visa logos, Visa credit cards, real credit cards. Sorry, we don't take. What the fuck is the point of having a Visa logo, a Visa card? I say logo, but it's not a debit card, it's a real credit card. And it was not accepted then. My Canadian credit cards from Canadian banks, Visa, I have a couple MasterCards, not accepted. The only one that is accepted, funnily enough, the MasterCard I have from Walmart that I got in Canada when I was there during the pandemic. That's the only one that's accepted down here. It is very frustrating. I have grown accepting of the fact that my Canadian credit profile doesn't count for shit down here, that my American credit profile, thank God, doesn't count for shit up there, that down here, even though Visa loves to market itself as something that is relatively universally accepted planetary-wide, right? Just like American Express, God knows how many hundreds of thousands of places accept. Bullshit. That's not true. If it were true, the Royal Canadian Bank of Canada would not have to have had opened up a bank in Georgia just so I have to have a credit card issued by a bank in Georgia so that I can have my Canadian bank account or a Canadian bank issue a credit card in the United States that can be used in the United States. That's what Canadian banks have to do. They have to open U.S. subsidiaries in the United States just so Canadian citizens can use their Canadian credit and get access to credit in the United States, independent of opening up their own U.S. bank accounts down here, which essentially is starting the fuck from scratch. Because as I said, they don't accept Canadian credit down here. They didn't in the 80s, didn't in the 90s, they don't now. Just last week, I had one of my Canadian credit cards not accepted. And you know what they tell you when they don't accept it? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, first of all, they look at the little Canadian flag on my Visa card. Again, a credit card on my Visa card, and they always comment on how lovely it looks. They say we're not on that network. And in the back of my head, my response is always, I don't give a flying fuck about the network. It is a Visa credit card. It's either accepted worldwide or it's not. Nowhere does it say it's only accepted, but it should. It's only accepted, asterisks, but only on these small amount of networks. And most places in the U.S. won't accept it because there's only a narrow amount of networks that these cheap bastards are willing to pay for, and and they're not willing to pay for the ones that your card is going to be on, is very annoying, extremely annoying. Now, the upside keeps my Canadian credit card balances to a minimum, which means my credit utilization up there, chef's kiss, quite low, which means my credit score up there, chef's kiss, quite big. But it is a source of aggravation and annoyance that for 30 years, exactly the opposite is true in Canada. I can go up there and it's absolutely no problem. I can use any American card. I can use my debit card, for fuck's sake, from my bank in Canada to pay for gas. I can't use my debit card from my Canadian bank to pay for gas down here, but I can use my debit card from my American bank to pay for gas up there. There is something insanely wrong with the inequality of this relationship. And it's been like this for decades. It will continue to be like this for years. And the reason it will not change is because the U.S. is the big economic bully on the block, and it will continue to bully other countries economically to its own advantage, because let's face it, this is a situation that economically is advantageous to the United States. And it's unfortunate, but it is something that myself, other expats, particularly expats from other parts of the, not just from Canada, but from other parts of the world, have to deal with as well. So with that, we get to go into the last and final of the petit gros reproche, my little petty grievance. And this one is a fun one, I promise. Take care, and I will see you on the final side. Hey, here we go. So the final one, the end of volume 1 of Dave's Petty Grievances. Ugh, traffic in this goddamn place. So, been here since the late 1980s, when my girlfriend at the time, who became my wife, who is now my ex-wife, mother of my first child, we came down here. This is a conservative town. Not a town that is particularly amenable, I'll talk about this in other videos, to someone with an Hispanic last name. Not particularly amenable to someone who has brown skin, even though I have vitiligo. And the horrors of living in this place have certainly forced my skin to turn white. And certainly not a town that takes kindly to fraternizing with the white ladies. So, that being said, it is not surprising at all that as I walk around, because the older I get, the more I like to walk, and I don't like to drive. There's really no need for me to drive. Everything I need is within walking distance. Why the hell would I drive a mile when I could get my steps in? It makes absolutely no sense. Isn't that right, Anakin? Damn straight, Dave. So, I noticed this a while back. There was one day when just walking across intersections on green lights, everything I'm going to talk about on green lights, I was nearly hit by cars 3 times. 3 times. I had the right of way. Each time I was honked. Each time I was yelled at. Usually nasty things were said to me. 2 of those times, I smashed my fist down on somebody's hood in order to stop their vehicle from touching me. They were not happy. I really could not give a flying fuck. I have noticed that when I cross intersections, and I become particularly salient to this, when I cross intersections on green lights, I never cross a red light. Even when there's no traffic coming on the way that I'm crossing. Just because I know that people like to fuck with pedestrians here. So I'm not going to do that. I only cross on a red light. On a green light. And that was not a Freudian slip, so don't even go there. So when I'm walking on a green light, I notice that if people are taking a turn and I have the right of way, they will not yield. They will in fact speed up. They will in fact try to beat me across the intersection. I do not yield. I do not slow down. I keep up my pace. They get upset. I do not care. This is what really does irritate me. There have been times when I've been walking with my youngest son, and we have the right of way, and we are happily walking along, singing a song, and people start honking at us. And it's not like we're stopping in the middle of the fucking intersection to have a sandwich. We're just crossing the road on a green light. And apparently they're in some, hurry to get to a Lee Greenwood concert to jerk off Trump. I have no idea where the hell they're going. And they're rolling down windows and yelling profanities at me. You want to yell profanity at me? That's fine. I'm a big boy. You want to yell profanity at my 12-year-old? I'm going to have some words with you. And I do. They do not slow down. They speed up. They honk. They yell. And weirdly, 80 to 90% of these people are white. They're middle-aged to elderly, and the overwhelming majority of these people are women. And they're driving white pickup trucks, hence the graphic, white pickup trucks. So, this has become a thing for me. And I walk every day, at least 4 to 5 miles every day. It's not like I'm walking 4 to 5 miles around my house in circles. I go here, I go there, I go there, I go here, I go across a road, I go back around that road, I go across the road again. I stop at a light. And it's not that, this town is friendly toward pedestrians, because they're not. There's not a lot of crosswalks in this town. I can cut off most of the fingers on this hand, and that'll give you a good sense of how many crosswalks there are in this damn town. So it's not particularly friendly to pedestrians to begin with. But still, when a light is green and I have a flashing sign that says I can walk, if you're turning, you damn well better stop to let me walk. And I'm just giving you notice. From now on, if you don't, my wooden practice katana, my Bakken sword, is going to get angry. And if you come close enough to it, it will have contact with your vehicle. It could be a fender. It could be a headlight. If the contact is serious enough, it could smash a fucking windshield. And if my child is there will be some serious things that will happen. Because it's one thing to fuck with me. I'm an old man. I could take it. It's not. I've been living in this town for a while. I know it ain't friendly to people like me. But you come after my kids, that's a completely different kettle of fish. And there are people in this town who have come after my children. And I don't take kindly to that. At all. As my kids will tell you. Because in another video, one of my kids' favorite phrases is saying, "Mommy, Daddy's fighting again." And there's really only one condition. Or, well, there are several conditions. But one of the conditions under which Daddy fights is when kids have come after my kids. People have come after my kids. So, I'm just saying, just giving you, general warning to the assholes of Salisbury in white trucks. They like to run down brown people who they apparently don't know and hate having to yield at traffic lights because they're in such a hurry. Waiting another 5 to 10 seconds is going to totally throw their fucking day right off. You've been warned. Me and my katana, we ain't putting up with your shit anymore. And with that, my friends, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and I will see you again real soon. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, for taking the time to listen. I know you have a lot of choices out there. Just a couple things to remind you of, things that I think are very important. Always be humble, stay curious, and remember, skepticism is a virtue. Again, thanks. Please like, subscribe, pass on the good word, and all of them good things. And me, Dog Dave, will see you again as soon as we're able. Take care. Thanks again. Ciao for now.